My name is Sophie Dubois, or it was, once upon a lie. I've been a ghost for 18 years. Today, they dragged me back into the light by taking the one thing I have left to lose, my son. They say ghosts can't bleed, but I'm bleeding now. 3 bullets, shoulder, abdomen, thigh, courtesy of men who found me in the Lake Chad Basin where I thought I was finally safe. Where I'd been coordinating the final phase of Operation Ghost Protocol. Where I'd made the fatal mistake of believing I could protect Adam while simultaneously destroying the network that killed his father. I was wrong. The message came through our encrypted channel at 3:47 hours. We have the prince. Complete the Paris mission or he dies. You have 72 hours. No negotiations. No alternatives. Ghost Protocol is over. Signed with a code I recognized. Colonel André Moreau, my old handler. The man who explained why France armed terrorists. Who threatened me 18 years ago. Who I thought had retired, disappeared, stopped caring about old operations. Another mistake. Men like Moreau never retire. They just dig deeper into the shadows. I'm writing this from a makeshift medical tent run by Médecins Sans Frontières, somewhere near the Nigeria-Cameroon border. The MSF doctor who's keeping me alive doesn't know who I am, and I need to keep it that way. Because if French intelligence finds me here, everyone in this camp dies. But first, I need to survive long enough to save my son. Let me back up 6 days, before the bullets, before the blood, before everything went catastrophically wrong. I was in the Lake Chad Basin meeting with one of my cultivated assets, a mid-level officer in Nigerian military intelligence who'd been feeding me information on General Bashir Okoro's movements. We'd been planning Adam's extraction once his infiltration mission was complete. Building exit strategies. Creating safe houses. I should have seen it coming. Should have noticed the surveillance. Should have trusted my instincts when the meeting location felt wrong. But I was distracted. Adam had sent a coded message saying he'd made contact with Okoro. That the general suspected something but couldn't prove it. That the timeline was accelerating faster than we'd planned. I was worried about my son. And worry makes you sloppy. The ambush came at dawn. I was leaving the safe house when 3 vehicles blocked the dirt road. Men in civilian clothes, carrying military-grade weapons. No insignia. No identification. Professional. Coordinated. Expensive. I ran. They shot at me like they were hunting an animal, not a person. Methodical. Patient. Herding me toward the marshlands where escape routes narrowed. I took the first bullet in my shoulder while diving behind a fishing boat. The second caught my thigh as I scrambled through reeds. The third punched into my abdomen as I finally reached deep water. I went under. Let the lake swallow me. Held my breath until my lungs screamed and black spots danced in my vision. Surfaced 100 meters away, hidden in tall grass, bleeding into water that had seen too much blood already. The men searched for 30 minutes, then left. Probably assumed I'd bled out. Drowned. Become another statistic in a region where bodies are common. They were almost right. I don't remember how I reached the Medical Humanitarian Organizations camp. I have fractured memories. Crawling through mud, sunrise burning my eyes, the sound of generators, voices speaking French. Then I was on a surgical table. Doctor Claudine Rousseau, a French surgeon who'd been in the Sahel for 6 years, was extracting bullets while I drifted in and out of consciousness. She needs blood, someone said. She needs a miracle, Dr. Rousseau replied. These wounds. She's lost too much. Another hour and... But I didn't get another hour to die. Adam needed me. I woke up 3 days later. Weak. Fevered. Stitched together with medical thread and stubborn refusal to surrender. Dr. Rousseau was sitting beside my cot when my eyes opened. Heureux de t'y revoir. Glad to see you again, she said in French. You've been unconscious for 72 hours. We almost lost you twice. My name, I croaked. I don't want to know your name. Her expression was kind but firm. MSF policy. We treat anyone who needs treatment. Patient confidentiality is sacred. Your patient 247. That's all I need to know. But people are looking for you, she continued quietly. Military types. Intelligence services. They've been asking questions in surrounding villages, offering money for information about a wounded French woman. My blood ran cold. You didn't. We told them nothing. We will tell them nothing. But you need to understand, by protecting you, we're putting our entire operation at risk. Then let me leave. You can't walk yet. Can barely sit up. You leave now, you'll die within hours. She checked my 4-drip. So you stay. You heal. And when you're strong enough, you disappear like the ghost everyone says you are. I closed my eyes. Calculated timelines. 3 days unconscious meant Adam had been captured. The 72-hour deadline had passed. My son was in their hands, and I was too weak to save him. For the first time in 18 years, I cried. Not quietly, not with dignity, but with the raw, broken grief of a mother who'd failed the one person she'd sacrificed everything to protect. Dr. Rousseau held my hand while I shattered. The medical team paid a terrible price for harboring me. For days after I arrived, men came to the camp. Not soldiers, something worse. Private contractors. Mercenaries with no accountability, no rules, no conscience. They claimed to be conducting a security sweep for terrorists. Demanded access to all patient records, all staff information, all recent admissions. Dr. Rousseau refused. Cited international humanitarian law, patient confidentiality, medical neutrality. They burned down the therapeutic feeding center that night, a building that was treating 50 malnourished children. The fire was set with precision, accelerant, multiple ignition points, designed to spread fast. The children survived because the MSF staff formed a human chain, carrying them out through smoke and flames. But the building burned to ashes, taking weeks of supplies with it. I watched from my cot, too weak to help, hating myself with an intensity that felt like acid in my veins. This is because of me, I told Dr. Rousseau as we watched the ruins smolder at dawn. This is because of evil men doing evil things, she corrected. Don't take credit for their choices. But 2 days later, they escalated. 3 MSF staff members were abducted while traveling to collect supplies. The message was clear: give up the patient, or more people disappear. The team held an emergency meeting. I insisted they tell the mercenaries where I was. Dr. Rousseau refused. We don't negotiate with terrorists, she said flatly. And we don't violate patient confidentiality. Not for threats. Not for violence. Not ever. They took your people. Our people knew the risks. We all know the risks. That's why we're here, because someone has to stand between the powerful and the powerless, even when it costs everything. I looked at this woman, this doctor who'd saved my life, protected my identity, and now refused to sacrifice me even as her colleagues suffered, and understood something profound. The war Marcus died fighting wasn't just about terrorism or arms trafficking. It was about this. About people choosing to do right when doing wrong would be easier. About standing firm when everything screamed to surrender. My son was being held because of my choices. These doctors were being terrorized because of my presence. And I was lying here, broken, useless, watching good people pay for my war. That ended now. That night, I accessed the satellite phone I'd hidden in my emergency pack, the one the medical team didn't know about. Connected to our encrypted network. Found the message waiting for me. Not from Moreau. From Adam. Mama, I'm okay. They're using me as bait. Don't come. I've made contact with allies inside. We have a plan. Trust me. Trust the network. Finish Ghost Protocol. That's how you save me. My hands shook reading it. My son, my baby, telling me to abandon him to complete the mission. He was his father's son. But he was also mine. And I'd built Ghost Protocol specifically for this, the moment when they thought they'd won. When they believed they'd cornered the ghost. When they made the fatal mistake of thinking I was defeated. I pulled up the files I'd spent 5 years compiling, 8 years protecting, 18 years preparing to deploy. Names, bank accounts, operational details, evidence that would destroy careers, topple governments, expose the machinery of manufactured chaos. The Damboa Files, named for the city where Marcus died, where this all began, where I'd promised his ghost I would finish what he started. I'd been waiting for the right moment to release them. The perfect opportunity. Maximum impact. This was that moment. I drafted the message, encrypted it with protocols that would make decryption nearly impossible. Then I sent it to 3 recipients. A journalist in London I'd been cultivating for years, someone with integrity, resources, and a death wish for truth. An international law professor in The Hague who specialized in war crimes. A data security expert in Berlin who could ensure the files spread beyond anyone's ability to contain them. The message was simple. The King of War was murdered. His widow has the proof. These files contain evidence of international arms trafficking, intelligence agency corruption, and crimes against humanity spanning 2 decades. Publish everything. Trust no one. They will try to kill you for this. Do it anyway. Then I added a final attachment. Video testimony I'd recorded before going into the Lake Chad Basin. My face. My real identity. My full confession. Everything I'd told the US Congress and everything I'd learned since. If I died, the world would know why. If I lived, the world would know anyway. I hit send. Watched the progress bar inch toward completion. Felt 18 years of running culminate in one irreversible action. The files uploaded at 4:23 hours. Ghost Protocol was active. And I had just painted the brightest target on my back that anyone could imagine. Dr. Russo found me the next morning, sitting up despite the pain, packing the few belongings I had. You're leaving. I have to. The people who are looking for me, they won't stop. They'll destroy this entire camp to find me. You've already lost too much. Where will you go? To finish what I started. To save my son. To burn down the system that's been hunting us for 18 years. She studied me with the clinical assessment of a doctor and the understanding of a woman who'd seen too many people make final decisions. You're going to die, she said quietly. Probably. I finished packing. But I'm going to take some of them with me. And more importantly, the truth is out there now. Even if they kill me, the files have been sent. The evidence is spreading. They've already lost, they just don't know it yet. Dr. Russo pulled out a satellite phone. Before you go, you should know something. Your son isn't in Abuja. French intelligence moved him to Paris 3 days ago. I know because one of the mercenaries who's been harassing us was drunk last night. He was bragging about the French job and how they'd captured some kid in Nigeria. Paris. Of course. Moreau wanted me on French soil. Wanted this to end where it began. Wanted to control the entire final act. It's a trap, I said. Obviously. I'm walking into it anyway. Obviously. She handed me a small medical kit. Antibiotics. Painkillers. Bandages. It's not much, but it's what I can spare. Your wounds aren't fully healed. The infection risk is still high. You should be in bed for another 2 weeks minimum. I don't have 2 weeks. I know. She embraced me carefully, mindful of my injuries. Patient 247, whoever you are, may God protect you. Because no one else will. I left the MSF camp before dawn, disappearing back into the shadows I'd emerged from. Behind me, Dr. Rousseau and her team continued their impossible work, healing the wounded, standing between violence and victims, refusing to compromise even when it cost everything. Heroes. All of them. The real heroes, not soldiers or spies, but people who chose compassion in places where compassion was a revolutionary act. I thought of Marcus. Of how he would have loved these doctors. How he would have protected them with his life if he could. I was protecting them the only way I could, by leaving. By drawing the hunters away. By finishing this war so maybe someday, people like Dr. Rousseau could work without fear. Getting to Paris took 4 days. False documents. Shadow networks. Transportation routes I'd maintained for years specifically for this scenario. I arrived bleeding through my bandages, fevered, running on stimulants and willpower. Exactly how Moreau wanted me, desperate, weakened, compromised. The meeting location was a café in the 11th arrondissement. Public enough to look legitimate. Quiet enough for a conversation that couldn't be overheard. Moreau was already there when I arrived, looking older but no less dangerous. Silver hair now, expensive suit, the bearing of a man who'd spent decades making decisions that killed people he'd never meet. Sophie. He stood politely. You look terrible. I replied. You look prosperous. I sat slowly, every movement agony. Arms trafficking must be paying well. Let's skip the moral posturing. You released the files. We know. We're already working to contain them. You can't contain truth once it's free. Perhaps. He slid a tablet across the table. But we can contain your son. The screen showed Adam, bound to a chair in a room I didn't recognize. Alive. Unhurt. But utterly at their mercy. Here's the proposition, Moreau continued. You complete one final mission for us. Something that requires your particular skills. Something that ties up loose ends we've been meaning to address. And if I refuse? Then the prince becomes another tragic casualty. Suicide, probably. Depression over his father's death. The psychological toll of discovering his mother was a traitor and a spy. You want me to kill someone? Several someones, actually. People who know too much. Who've been helping you gather evidence. Who need to disappear before your files gain traction. He leaned forward. Think of it as cleaning up your own mess. And after I kill your targets, you'll release Adam and leave us alone? His smile was cold. Of course not. We'll kill you both. But we'll do it quickly. Painlessly. I promise you that much, a professional courtesy for old time's sake. So it's a trap. It's always been a trap, Sophie. From the moment you fell in love with that soldier. From the moment you chose conscience over country. Did you really think this would end any other way? I looked at the screen. At my son. At the boy I'd raised to be better than the world that killed his father. Then I looked at Moreau and smiled. Yes, I said. I did think it would end differently. Because you made one fatal mistake. And what's that? You assumed I came alone. The raid happened simultaneously across 6 locations. Coordinated by Colonel Adeyemi in Nigeria, executed by the network Adam had built, young intelligence operatives, honest officers, victims of the system who'd been waiting for this moment. In Abuja, they arrested General Bashir Okoro. In Paris, they extracted Adam from French intelligence custody. In London, Brussels, and Geneva, they secured evidence and arrested mid-level operators. And in that café in Paris, while Moreau was threatening me, Interpol was surrounding the building based on tips from an anonymous source. The Damboa files had already been received by journalists worldwide. Within hours of my uploading them, 3 major publications had teams verifying the evidence. WikiLeaks had archived everything. The story was breaking faster than any containment effort could stop it. Moreau realized its icons before they came through the door. You planned this, he whispered. For 18 years, I confirmed. Did you really think Ghost Protocol was about hiding? It was about waiting, building, preparing for the one moment when we could strike everywhere at once. You'll never make it stick. We have lawyers, diplomatic immunity, classified protections. You're right. Some of you will escape consequences, but not all. And more importantly, the world will know. Soldiers fighting in the Sahel will know they were betrayed. Citizens will demand accountability. The machine you built will crack, even if it doesn't completely break. And my son, Marcus's son, will grow up knowing his father died fighting for something real. That his death wasn't meaningless. That justice, even imperfect justice, is possible. They arrested Moreau, charged him with enough crimes to ensure he'd die in prison, even if diplomatic maneuvering reduced some charges. I disappeared before they could process me, vanished back into the shadows, leaving only a note for the investigators. Ask the journalist about the Damboa files. Everything you need is there. To be continued in The Damboa Files.